Hey Rockstar. Welcome back. We missed you last week, but thank you for coming back. Hey Rockstar, try this quote on for size. The men's mentor guru Garrett J. White. He once said, "Men who don't bear fruit, they dodge the questions, but men who do bear fruit, they provide answers." Try that thought on for size. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Josafat Emiliano, and this is Hey Rockstar. Get ready because you're in for a great show.
And Miguel, do the thing, yo.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Hey Rockstar, welcome. This is a show devoted to bringing value to those interested in starting a side hustle or side business. Whether you're looking to be dual vocational, full-time, part-time, or sometime, I bet our stories will entertain you, encourage you, and empower you to become the rock star of your business and industry.
Welcome back, everyone. Man, I'm so glad to be back. Sorry about last week. Just things got overbooked. It happens. It happens when you're starting to see success, when you're starting to see things take off. You got to provide the most that you can. All right. Well, Instagram, something just happened with you guys. I hope everything's okay. Let's go ahead and try to confirm something here. But in the meantime, for those of you watching on YouTube and Facebook, if you have a comment, go ahead and drop a comment. I'll be able to highlight it. If it's relevant to our conversation, I'll highlight it right away. If not, we'll try to catch them all at the end of the show. But without further ado, I have a very special guest. We actually first met many moons ago, actually last year, not that many moons ago, last year or maybe 2 years ago, somewhere around there. We first met in California, in Madero, California, and I got to shake hands and give him a hug. Although we had met each other online through our Zoom calls and our business meetings, but today it's not about me. It's about him and his story. I'm excited. This man has energy. This man is just someone that when you meet him, you just can't help but just fall in love with his personality, his persona. He is a man who is he's here to serve, he's here to love, he's here to help. So without any more holding back, I want to present to you Valentin Resediz. Resediz. If you wouldn't mind, how's it going, bro? How you doing today?
It's going awesome. Appreciate you for that. Super awesome.
I have an accent sometimes.
Yeah, I could drop that. I could roll those R's. Let's go. No, thank you, man. That's super awesome introduction. Thank you. And I'm doing fabulous out here in the weathering days of California right now.
Is it good? Is it cold? Is it hot? I'm not sure what it's like over there.
Nah, right now a little windy, a little cold. Trying to whether it's going to rain or not. It's up in the air. California's a little bipolar like that.
Welcome to the show. All right, so I know your story, well, at least some of it. But for those those who are just joining us and seeing you for the first time, if you wouldn't mind, just share us. Just tell us, brother, what is your story?
Yeah, well, thank you. A little bit about me. Born in Mexico, raised in California. Came to a small town called Greenfield. That's mainly where I grew up for the most part of my childhood. Small little farming community. Population was maybe 10,000 or so at the time when I was there. It's grown quite a bit. It's started to expand. Um, from there, just young kid, would go to school, wouldn't go to school. Like I said, small farming community, so it was easy to pick up little side jobs back in the days. Always wanted to do something for myself. Always wanted to have a little bit more, or not just because I wanted to have it, because like I said, we're a farming community. Parents weren't in the best of place all the time to be able to afford whatever it is I wanted to get, or whatever it is I thought I wanted. So it was easy as to go to one of the little fields right there and ask for work. You go to my domo back in the days and just ask them, "Tienen jale?" And it was by piece. They pay you piece rate. They pay you whatever. At the end of the day, just go to the one older ladies and just say, "I made $30, about 25, and it's yours," or whatever it may be. And that was pretty much it. Growing up, it's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of growing up and learning experience. A lot of my friends likewise got married at a young age. 17 when I got married. Also divorced at a young age. I think it was 25. So almost made a cool 10-year run right there. After that, I ended up moving to Arizona. From Arizona, worked in municipalities, water distribution, wastewater collections, moved back to the area. My kids were growing up. My little one, my firstborn, was going to be actually going into high school. And at that moment, I was like, this area ain't that great for a young man to be growing up without himself, or to be growing up without some sort of fatherhood figure, or some sort of person that they can look up to. Because if they don't look up to you, they're going to look up to the streets, and it's going to be very easy, for them to get straight away, just to get that attention from somebody. And so I decided to move back into the area, came back into California, started working again. I was working for a city, for a municipality. That didn't work out for me. I ended up going to work at a winery, worked there for a little bit, and then was in the facility for a couple years. And the winery itself had a farming aspect to it. They owned the farms, they owned the vineyards, and I got hired there. I got transferred or promoted, I guess you can say, into that position. And that's where I did quite a bit of time. And that's actually where my story gets introduced into how I got introduced into the company that I'm at the moment, and what it is that drove me to go ahead and be who I am today. Well, I was there for, within combination of the winery and the vineyard aspect, I think about 8 years or so. And I was there and thought I was doing great. I felt like, what? Hey, I got promoted from I guess a barrel room technician. I got promoted to a lead, a vineyard lead. So I was like, all right, cool. And a couple years after that, or maybe less than a couple years after that, I got promoted to a supervisor position, and I was like, all right, I'm doing great for myself. And at that moment, there was two separate vineyards that we took care of, and one of them was 30 miles away from each other. So my days were long because I wanted to prove myself. I was like, all right, I'm here. Next step, I want to try to become, I don't know, assistant vineyard manager, and eventually probably run a vineyard somewhere else, become something somewhere else. And during that time, my mom introduced me to some guy that she just said, here, I want you to talk to someone. Right? She goes, here, I want you to talk to someone. And I just went ahead, went somewhere, didn't know who they were. He was nicely dressed sharp. And I was like, oh man, she brought me to a lawyer. I don't know what I did wrong. What you having me sign right now? But no, it was just an introduction to somebody that said, do you have children? Yes, I do. Do you have this? Yes, I do. Do you have protection? And I was like, what is that? What is protection, or what is this, or what is that? Well, anyways, he ended up helping me out, getting squared away, putting some extra money away, because all I knew at the time was 401k. And all I knew how to do at the time was say max 401k, right? Not max. I think I was at 22% of my paycheck was getting directed towards a 401k.
Wow. Okay.
And that's what I thought I was doing great. I was like, oh no, man, yeah, awesome. And then he showed me something about, tax-free retirement. He spoke to me about tax-free retirement. He showed me about protection, family protection, leaving a legacy behind for my children. Um, but that was it. That's where it stayed, and it stayed there for about 4 years. And like I mentioned, now jumping forward back to me trying to work my way in there and just thinking I'm gonna get a promotion, I'm gonna get promoted here soon. And at that time, ahora sí como dicen, I was in jodas, like 1 a.m., 1 a.m., one ranch. You're staying from 1 a.m. right there. You're doing your due diligence, getting people running, getting people going. By 5 a.m. at another ranch, running stuff, then returning back. A few hours later, I don't know, noon or so, getting back at the other ranch at 1 p.m. And then you have another crew taking care of other things. So then you're going home 4 to 5 sometimes, and I was there since 1 in the morning, and I felt like I deserved that raise, that next big thing coming up, right? So, I was like, oh, ahora sí, let me call that one dude that's helping me out with this extra money. And I called him up and I go, hey, hey, yo, bro, like, great things are coming. I feel it in my bones. Things are going to just start booming for me. And I'm just going to go out there and I just want to dump money into this account because I want to retire at 55 or 45 if I can. Let's go. He goes, oh, yeah, for sure. Don't worry about it. Let's go. I'll help you. I kid you not. The day before he was going to show up to my job to go ahead and, let's talk numbers. Let's talk real numbers now. Before it was kind of like, protection, a little bit of extra. And I was like, I want to talk retirement now. Like I'm starting to think like an adult, talk like an adult, let's go ahead and get going. Well, the day before we had our scheduled meeting, the boss says, hey, everybody, can we meet up right here at the main office? And I'm like, all right, he's going to tell us in front of everybody. I'm being promoted or something, right? Like, let me go ahead and get that extra cup of coffee right now.
Look by them shades. I'm looking at
así mero iba, yeah, so go show up in the office, right? And then we see him, we see the other big bosses, and it's kind of like when you get sent to the principal's office and your parents are there, it's not going to be for no good talk.
Yeah.
So we're like, ¿qué pasó? Like, who screwed up, or what happened? And sure enough, we were told X amount of people are no longer going to be working here. This company is no longer in charge of you guys. You guys got basically sold out. And to me, I was like, wow, here we are. Like, mind you, I was like the newest person on there. Not the newest, but one of the newest. There are some individuals that have been working on that ranch, gone through that thing, been working there for 40 years. Some of them had their children basically being born into some of the facilities that were still standing in that ranch and grew up there. They got rid of the buildings and all, but they were still working there. And I was like, wow. And then we told all of a sudden, like, the main company still owns the ranch. They still own the vineyards. They still own the trucks that you guys drive. They still own the tractors. They still own the shovels and the hoes that are being used out in the field. But we're no longer going to be responsible for you guys. So the easiest thing to get rid of was the human aspect.
Okay, gotcha.
So I was like, wow. At that moment, me paniqué. I was like, I just told this guy, I got my big boy pants on and my boots laced up all the way high, and I was going to be raking in the dough. Now I don't even know if I have a job, So I called him up and I panic and I go, hey, cancel. I need to cancel my account. I need to cancel my contract. No sé si voy a comer. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I was talking a big game, pero lo salé por andar de hocicón, like opening my mouth up too much. Like, I don't know, but I believe in myself. I shouldn't have spoke it, That was my mentality back then. And then he goes, "Oh no, wait." He's like, "You said you got this." Yeah, he said, "So you no longer employed with that?" He goes, and I go, "No." And he mentioned, "I remember you stating that you put quite a bit of money into your 401k." I go, "Yeah." And around this time was maybe a year or so, coronavirus was still out there. You wouldn't know, like, they didn't know whether you were coming back or going to work, if you were called an essential employee or not. And like for us, we were essential, so we were putting in all those hours and everything. And the stock market was like the stock market was flooding during coronavirus and everything.
Yeah.
And he hit me up with so how is it doing? And I told him, I thought you said you had great news for me. You know? I'm like, why would you ask me so messed up stuff like that? You know how it's doing. Like,
You gotcha.
were you mocking me, like rubbing salt in that wound or what, brother? Because that was a low blow. No, and then he laughed a little. He said, "No. I'm asking you because what if whatever money you had in there, we can go ahead and secure it, put it in a place that it's a guaranteed zero loss. You'll never lose a single dime from what you invest. Investment will never go down." I said, "Nah, you're lying, man." He goes, "No. Not only that, it has the potential to do like stock market return." I go, "Nah, you're lying, man."
True.
It can't be true. No, you're lying to me, right? And then he goes, "No, yeah." And he goes, "Did this happen to all of your co-workers?" And I go, "Yeah, no, it happened to all of us. Like we're all it go. It wasn't like just X amount of people." And he goes, "Do you mind if I go ahead and talk to them? Can I use your office to talk to them?" And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead, for sure. Like I don't mind. That's my boss. Make sure it's cool." And he's off. If it's after hours, I don't care. Like it's kind of like everybody was kind of going through the whole same situation.
Yeah.
And the first day he showed up, like that same day though, when I told him, he goes, "Let me just go to your office. We'll sit down. We'll talk and everything." And once again, like I mentioned, here comes my same thought that I had, right? Here comes this nice young dressed man, looking sharp, very professional, shows up directly to my office right there at the ranch where I work. And the very first thing everybody goes, "Oh man, you suited and booted, didn't you? Is that your lawyer? Can we jump on, man? Te cobra más varas si le mando a Micha or something, how much is he charging?" And I'm like, no. It's none of that. He's actually helping me with my retirement planning, and this is how it's going. This is what it's doing, and this is what he's planning on doing for me. And at that moment, he's all like, "Hey, dude, so you said you had no thought of plans or what your future is holding like or what it's gonna be." He's all, "Would you being interested to learn what it is that I'm doing?" I said, I'll be more than happy to learn. Like that's one of the biggest things I've always had, always growing up. And mom was the first person that ever taught me that. And that's how I was able to get, like, when I moved to Yuma and I was in a different, being able to work for the municipalities. It's like she said, and this is true to this day on anything. She goes, if you're ever working for somebody else and they're struggling, or they offer somebody to take up a course or take up some sort of special learning or training of any trade or anything that's, a specialized area, jump on it. She goes, sometimes they might not pay you. She goes, but the knowledge you gain from there, no one is ever going to take that away from you. And
that's rock star gold right there.
Yeah. And she goes, and it's on their dime. Once they train you, they don't appreciate you. You just move to the next place. And she even said, you don't have to move to the next place. You can just become good enough to where you charge them for it. She's an entrepreneur. I love her to death. I call her mom. I'm going to just clarify this out right now. I call her mom. There's a special lady and a special family. It's not just a lady. It's a whole family. They've taken me in. Her name is Ernestina Venegas, and father's name is Reynaldo Venegas. The Venegas family, all of them, bro, sis, everybody has been so beautiful and wonderful to me. Not one of them has said, no, you shouldn't do it. He's not our son, or no, you shouldn't do it. She's been an entrepreneur for over 40 years. She's held her own business. She's done multiple businesses while holding, a regular 9 to 5 as well. So that's the individual that I've looked up to for. I gotta say, I was about 19 to 20 when I met her, and she's been the person of influence in my life. Well, like I said, she took me blah blah blah. I straight away. So we're going back into this whole situation with the young gentleman that was helping me and assisting me, and then he goes, "How would you like to get paid to learn?" And I went, "Oh, Forrest Gump, Mama always says." Like
Stupid is, stupid does. I ain't stupid. Let's do it.
Let's go. So he goes, I'll tell you what, because we still had like a month transition between us getting laid off and being able to move over to the new company and everything. He goes, everybody that you referred to me, he goes, I've already talked to them. We've already done, we haven't submitted anything, but everything's in the works. It's been set up. The tiles have been laid to go ahead and move forward with it, but we can't move forward until you're no longer employed with that company. And I don't know, it was like maybe 20 days afterwards is when we were able to go ahead and move those funds. He goes, how would you like to get paid on that? And then I go, what? He goes, but you have to do one thing. He goes, everything is done. Everything is here. He's all you have to do is get licensed. We are regulated by the states, federal, everything. So we have to be licensed with the state that we're doing business with. He's so I got a challenge for you. He's you got less than 1 month to go ahead and get licensed, but you have to do I forgot 50 hours or something like that of study courses or and it has to be registered.
Oh, yeah, you're in California.
Yeah. And then I go I don't know what part of waking up at 1 a.m, going home at 3 to 5, I wasn't quite clear on it. He's that's the bet, He's I know you can do it. You have to study, you have to do this, you have to do that. I was like, I guess I could sleep 1 hour a day. What's a month anyways? What's a month? So yeah, I ended up going ahead qualifying. I studied hard. I did my licensing. I passed my test, luckily, the first time I took it. And then from there, he went ahead and he set it up. And once he set up all the accounts, I'll tell you this is when life is guiding you. You just have to be able to pay attention to some people think that when the door closes, it's a bad thing. Sometimes doors have to close in front of our eyes. Like when we're here, it literally has to smack us on the nose in order for us to get away from what would be a trap, an entrapment, of you growing or self-developing or moving forward. Something like that has to happen in order for us to wake up, snap out of it, wake up. Like you were going to do what, 15, 20 years here doing 1 a.m.s to 5 p.m.s. Some of these guys for what? Like you were going to be content on that, So I ended up doing that, taking my class, taking my course. And then, little by little, I had a great communication with my team. I think the team that I worked with when I started versus when I ended up leaving, was two totally different teams. So when I got there, they were, there was a division within everybody, like you had your hierarchies, if you were doing such labor, then you were considered the stepping stone. And when you got to this position, you were doing a little bit better. And when you became a tractor driver, like You're the prestigious of pristine out there, and don't talk to me like you see me walking through the door, you hold it open for me. That seemed to be the attitude out there, and I was like, nah, man, we're all human. We all come here to feed our families. We all come here to heck, man. We spend more time with each other than what we do at home in order for us not to be nice to each other, not to go ahead and have that family oriented. So I would bring them ¿cómo se llaman? The donuts in the morning, el panecito every now and then I started doing something for them. Like I said, I valued their hard work, because it wasn't me going out there and doing the work, and it wasn't me doing anything, but they made me look good.
Yeah.
In front of my bosses, they made me look good. Why? We had no funguses out, no plagues. Weeds were taken care of. Whatever you want to call it, it was them. It wasn't me. So I appreciated them. So, anyways, by that time, that bond or relationship we had, it wasn't like no more like I'm your boss and you're the employee, the subordinate, and you have to pay attention to me. It was more of an open. We had more open dialogues, more sharing. And one of the things I did say, it was, I'll say it in Spanish, si hubiera sabido de esto, hace 15 años ya no estuviera aquí. Si hubiera, el hubiera no existe. You know how we say in Spanish, el hubiera no existe. In English, if I would have, had I known this. And I was like, shoot, what are you talking about? And I kind of, at the beginning, like I said, you kind of have to go in there. There was a different mentality. It was a different shift. So your character towards them isn't that you want to be rude or disrespectful. It's just, I know you're slacking, and I know you're slacking, but just because you think I don't know doesn't mean I don't know. So I'm gonna catch you on the don't knows. And eventually they started really putting forth a lot of effort into trying to please. Before it was kind of like, well, I'll see what I can get away with, and that towards the end it was like, well, I don't want them to think I'm getting away with it. So that whole character change, and some of these individuals, I'm 70 some years old, and I'm like, 70 some years old, Don Jefe, ¿qué anda haciendo aquí? Like, you should be enjoying, as we say, your golden years, right?
Yeah.
You should be enjoying your time with your grandkids. Heck, if you don't have grandkids, with your old lady already, like, think about something else, like hang out at home. And the thing that broke my heart the hardest was when they said si hubiera, and then I ended up finding out, like, we had our seasons. During that season, it was like spring season, and then here comes harvest season. And harvest time, we have sometimes we have some downtime, machines break down, or like I said, during lunchtime we gather around and share some lunch and share some stories. And a lot of the talk that they would say is that. And I was like, man, let me, voy a ser chismoso, voy a ser chismoso. And I ended up asking my boy, like, hey, what's going on? ¿Cuánto tienen? O qué pasa? Or what's up? And then, little did I know, is like, a lot of these individuals had nobody to ever explain to them about retirement.
Wow.
Had nobody really talk to them about what a 401k is, how a 401k works, pros and cons of nothing. So some were lucky after 40 years of service to have $40,000 saved up.
Yeah.
But that's why I was like, wow. So during this time, they say big events, change lives. And during this time, I was that's where I got introduced to a lot of the individuals within the business. And I met Bruce, Jacob Bruce, for the first time there. Super awesome individual. I went to a men's retreat during that time. Alex invited me. He's the young man I've been speaking about, mentoring the business. He brought me in and never gave up, and showed an interest, true interest, So we go to the men's retreat. I met the great Paul Hart there. I had no idea who he was. Mr. Johnny, Christian, a bunch of great people, Beto, Gabe, uh, everybody. If I left somebody else, I apologize. All the great leaders were there. Mr. Manny, of course. And when I got there, I started conversating with them, and just the mentality, because you hear it's you're working for yourself. It's your business, and you hear all these people trying to uplift and then bring you in and just give you nugget after nugget, just dropping knowledge, and I go like, wait. Why are these individuals sharing so much on how to be successful? Like, ¿qué tienen que ganar? Like,
Right.
nothing to do with
Very suspicious.
Yeah, no, I was like, I was looking around like, where the cameras? Like the old school the MTV games and stuff. I don't know. You're like, all right, 10 strangers landed on the beach. Let's see who becomes a friend, who becomes a boy. Like, all right, let's go. No, but throughout that whole time, nada. Like, everybody was super respectful, super nice. I mean, I never met a group of men that really bonded or got along like that. And I'm like, all right, this is strange. It was strange for me. It's normal. It's normal now. It was strange then. And then from there, I went to that, and then I come back to this job that I've been pretty much, I felt, giving everything that I had, and then pretty much being made feel like I wasn't doing enough. Like they're pulling like, hey, you're slacking, bro. Like, hey, and I'm like, what? Like, in serio? So right after that, I was like, all right, cool. So I had that little chip on the shoulder already, from what had happened, the transition, that chip on the shoulder. And then from that, we had a major event in Las Vegas. And you go meet more people that were like-minded, that were in the same industry, doing the same thing, and then you get these multi-million-dollar people, earners, sharing full secret. And I was like, once again, like, man, why are these people doing this? Like, don't they know that's their business? I'm sure if Sears had a marketing strategy that was gonna outpace everybody, they wouldn't want JC Penney going over there and saying, all right, give me all the notes you got,
Yeah.
or something like that. That was the way that I was thinking about how that, it's a business. I don't know. That's what it is. And once again, I show up, go over there, get flooded with a bunch of great ideas, get flooded with a bunch of great things, come back to the company. And by this time, just being a referral, I mean, just being able to take notes, sit down in front of my trainer, being able to go ahead and just, present people that I thought that could value of what he had to teach them, that could benefit their families, their loved ones, and everything, just based on introductions. That's all I was doing, just introducing them. And even now with you, bro, I have my little notebook right here. You can never stop learning. You can never stop taking notes. You can never stop being a sponge more than anything. So just based on that, I ended up qualifying for a trip to Hawaii.
Nice.
Yeah. So they go, hey, guess what? Yeah, you put up good numbers up there. And I was like, I put up good numbers. I just been running around, like, just grabbing somebody. Hey, come here. You got a kid and a wife. You need to hear this. I'm excited to hear this again. I want to hear it one more time. Let me take notes just based on that. Like, I want a trip to Hawaii. Mind you, this is less than a 6-month span from when this individual, Alex, I'm not going to say this individual, Alex, brought me in. Less than a 6-month span, I'm being told, hey, congratulations, Hawaii, you're going. Yeah, you're going to go in November, blah, blah, blah. So now I go to my boss and I go, hey, I'm going to go to Hawaii in November. I already got this pretty much paid trip. It's a week. It's a paid trip. Like, I'm going to go. And then he goes, before you do, sit down. And I go like, what? Like, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué onda? And this was months before. And then he goes, if you go, I'm going to have to write you up. Wow. Wow. I was like, psh. I'm like, all right. And there was a couple other contests going on, and a few things being recognized. And I pointed at the calendar. I pointed at the calendar and I told them, well, write me up for this date, for that date, and that date, because I'm going to qualify too. And
Mm.
and based on your rules, and because he said, "Oh, it's not me, it's the rules, it's what's been written. You don't have any PTO. We just got started with the company, so since you don't have PTO, we have to rank you up because you don't have PTO." And I said,
PTO.
"Fine by me." I told him, "Fine by me." At that moment, I told him, "En esta sección right here, on this date, on that date, and that date, you might as well give me the write ups right now, because I'm telling you, I'm not gonna be.
Uh,
I'll sign them." And guess what? By this date next year, you better look for somebody to replace me. Because based on your rules and regulations, that's my third write up. And I'll no longer be employed. When I said that, he's like, hey, no, espérate, cálmate, and this and that. And throughout this whole time is when I've been on the background, what I mentioned,
yeah.
talking to the guys and seeing and asking. And then just, I started thinking with my heart, honestly.
Mm.
I really, because I was like, ¿qué necesidad hay? Like, the little bit of people that I do and I am with, and I'm able to go ahead and sit in front of them. And I'm not the one speaking, I'm not the one, but just introducing them to somebody. And they have a huge smile on their face. They go like, man, the hardest thing to hear is I didn't feel or I didn't believe that my family deserved something like this or qualified for something like this. They think everything is out of their reach and out of their realm. Like it's not a reality that they live in. It's not something that they're used to. Somebody taking time out of their day to go speak to them.
Mm.
It was a different feeling I was getting, a different sort of satisfaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm having a little bit of conflict within myself at that moment. Like, man, don't get me wrong, it was great pay where I was at. I felt it. I'll take that back. Scratch it, because that's what I was told. And I'm that.
You told that was great pay.
No, it was crappy pay, but I put in a lot of hours. Two differences.
Yeah.
Two differences. Because that's what my old boss had tried to tell me. He's like, you made great money. I go, no, I put in a lot of hours. Making great money is being here from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and taking home what I'm taking home. That's great pay. But being here from 1 a.m. to who knows when, and only taking home what I'm taking home, that doesn't add up. The math ain't mathing, como dicen.
and I think that is one of the biggest, I guess, programming's problems that at least American people have. They're so set on it's about hours for dollars. It's about hours for dollars, and there is a big difference with those who are entrepreneurs, and we're about like no, it's about the value you bring and the money that you can make from that, as opposed to um, spending my whole time. They don't see that because I remember when I was working at TPAC, and it was the whole we were. It was I mean, back then, well, it was $14 an hour. Today was like, that's crap, buddy. But I was doing so many hours because I was at the mercy of our clients. And sometimes I was there 24 hours when they need me to. And it was just a lot of money, and I was just too tired to go spend it. So of course I had a lot of it. But yeah, but once you get to that mindset, a person that I listen to, Myron Gold, I know you guys have heard of Myron Golden, or I'm not sure Bruce has, but he was talking about how the mindset of the rich is they don't pay for anything. In their mind, it's not about to them money doesn't matter because it's about the ideas. The ideas pays for everything. The things you create and bring to the table, the people you help, that's what pays for everything. But to me, the value or to the rich, the value of a glasses is the same value as a Mercedes or the same value as a McDonald's hamburger. It means nothing to us because it's about the time you get to spend and enjoy it. But those who are dependent on the dollar are buying dollars by hours,
Mm-hmm.
this could be the most expensive. This is more expensive than a house sometimes,
Yes.
because of that mindset. Anyway, sorry, I didn't want to throw that, but that's just something
No.
that
Yeah.
American people, or at least the people we're around, they just there's that programming in them.
No, and thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that because it's 100% true, man. It's you know, like you said, a pair of glasses or a pair of something. Shoot, how many times do you hear people shooting somebody over a pair of Jordans?
Yeah,
Really, that holds more value than a human life, or to what? To what aspect? It's like what you said is what can you bring? That's the true value in something. It's what it brings, not what it does, not what you paid for it. You know what I mean? To somebody, a nice gesture of giving them a pen with their name written on it might cost you nothing, and to them, it's a super valuable
yeah.
thing. It's a gesture. It's what it is. Yeah, absolutely agreed. Yes, sir. No,
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you out of the loop. You just said that, like I just
no,
gotta.
no. You have no, and it got my noggin going in that direction too. Like, yeah, because at that moment, to you, like you said, when you're into when you're not thinking like an entrepreneur, when you're thinking like I want to be the best employee,
Yeah,
then that's what you will be. You're just a modern day slave, as Mr. Paul calls it, because it's true. You're selling yourself for that dollar frame per hour. What are you sacrificing? Me, I sacrificed a lot during that period. I had a baby. Not me personally, but yes.
congratulations.
Instead,
You did it.
instead of spending the full 6 weeks I needed to, it was like, hey, what do you think you're gonna come back? Well, I'll tell you this much: I got COVID in one string that whole time. And there was check yourself in 2 days, see if you're negative, so you can come back to work.
Okay, gotcha. Wow.
I was like, ni siquiera preguntando, hey, te remamos a
What's
couple
that?
noodles or something. Like, hey, we could leave it outside your door. It's like, nah, like as soon as I mentioned, I tested positive at the house, the kids were sick, they got me sick. I feel it in my bones. I don't know what this is. It feels different than the cold. And then they're all, I'll get back to you real quick. All right, 15 minutes later. Okay, you need to go to a clinic and make sure that's a good positive. I'm like, oh God. All right, cool. uh, and then like 2 days later, hey, 2 days is 48 hours. You can go get retested. I'm like, I tested myself at home already, bro. Like I came out. Don't I have 40 hours paid for this? Like for free? No. Ain't the government get paying you 40 hours to pay me? No.
Wow,
Anyways,
hasta eso te cobraron para go get this.
yeah. So anyways, going back to that point, like I started, we got into it and I was like, whatever, sign me up, write me up. I don't care. And started getting more into that. Those topics started hanging around more with you. You were huge a part of that. I just want to say thank you, man. Like we were talking beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
This is right before we ended up going to the Modesto thing. What was it, like January or something like that, where we met up? So this is once again during that time frame. During that time frame, we were having those morning calls, morning meetings, and I didn't know you personally or anything. It's it was very a cold introduction to everybody. Hey, everybody, this is the whole team, and they live in XYZ area. I was like, oh, hi. And like I said, like even right now, like just I was so shy, so and anybody who knows me in person, they go like, cállate la boca, like, come on, bro, like, nah. But just that fear of speaking in front of people or that I don't know, man, just jitters. Even when I was working as a supervisor, I needed to give some sort of training. Sometimes I'd be in front of them, and, like, what do I do with my hands, that Ricky Bobby. so I was like, man, I don't know how to act up here. I'm a break dancer or something. I don't know. I don't even dance. No, so being in those platforms and everything, then somebody fresh like yourself, you were just brand new coming in. And just really just, the persona you put out there and everything. I was like, man, this guy, all right, cool. Like, I want to copy and like let's see what
Oh,
he does,
really?
like how he moves in the camera, like how he talks behind. Because even your voice projects differently. You really have like. I didn't know you did this, but I was like, this guy's a locutor or something, like
She and
yeah.
my cousin. My cousin, he has a station. He started out an online station called Tejano Faith y Familia, but he was a radio DJ for I don't know 10, 20 years. He's got that voice. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I was like, nah, dude. That's why I don't know if you still remember the first time we met up. I was like, let me go shake this guy's hand.
well, you approached me with such confidence, and like you gave me a hug, like oh man, and
Yeah.
I felt bad because like I turned to Uli, which by the way, let me give a shout out. I haven't been giving shout outs. This conversation has been so good. First of all, I've been highlighting Miguel Alvarez for his comments he's been posting. Shout out to you, Miguel. He at the very beginning of the show he posted that referring to you, my man, that a man of multiple trades. When he was referring to you, Vale, and then on Instagram, Ulises has been having a conversation, and I just shout out to El Padrino Ulises, just
What's up,
brothers
man?
in the financial services, guys that I've had I've broken bread with. But going back to that day, you hugged me, and I was just like, oh, it's good to see you. And then I turned to Ulises like, I know his face, I just forgot his name. He goes, you remember Vale? And like, oh, just like that. You forgot about Vale? I love you, Uli.
Yeah, heck yeah. Listen, my boy Miguel. Like I said beforehand, Miguel's been a huge part of my development within this business as well. It's super young man, but so much knowledge behind knowledge beyond his years.
And right now, shout out to the birthday boy, Mr. Humberto Montoya. He just gave us 100%, 100% on Instagram. Sorry.
What's up, Mr. Beto?
Cumpleaños feliz.
Yeah, absolutely. So by this time, only quedamos, trading dollars. Yeah. So, I started, like I said, I started thinking more with my heart and less with the wallet or less with the head, like I was like, man, what really is needed out here? What is it's me staying in the field really bringing fulfillment, to myself, not just to myself, but it's bringing fulfillment to my community. Back to what Miguel was saying, like men of multiple talents. I've done it all. Like, and usually when I try to do or had a job like that, it was something that would service the community or to be a part of the community, or where you get to see different people. Like, man, when I was working with mom, and they had not her. She was business partner with another young man named Sal Morales. They had a mom and pop shop. They ran together for small engine repairs. And it services, like I said, we service the agricultural community. That's what we are. We live in the Resediz Valley. It's called the salad bowl of the world. And it was huge in the small little town where I lived. Shout out to King City out there. They have a huge agriculture, so we service most of all of the farmers. We did big for them, so I kind of felt good, knowing that something that I did that day allowed them to be able to proceed with their job, to be able to get back, provide food and everything. So, and then I worked at municipalities, for water distribution, wastewater collection, and that type of stuff. So that's usually where I try to put myself in it every time. Like I said, I wanted to do more. I wanted to develop my skills, and that's another thing that I have. Once I get into something, like I submerge myself into it. Like I don't want to be just the next guy that does it. I want to be the best guy at it. So I start doing like, hey, did he running into it? I'm very mechanically inclined, so a lot of the times in a lot of different jobs that I would hold, that helped me out being able to figure out, diagnose, and do a lot of things. But even right now, like on this, it's the best thing that I love about this industry and everything is that it's a never-ending learning process. You can never know enough, and you can never learn enough. And there's always somebody out there that you're going to learn from, whether they're coming in brand new or whether they've been seasoned. I believe that everybody, you can learn something from anybody, whether it's either how to talk to them or product providing or even just how to be a better human being. Just because somebody is new in the business doesn't mean that they're not more seasoned than you and other aspects of life. So I'm always very open to learn. I'll never say that I'm good enough not to. So, anyways, yeah, back to the other portion. And at that time, yeah,
The
yes,
more you know, bling.
Bing. Man, you're bringing all kinds of commercials to my head. ¿Cuál era el otro? Books is knowledge, or what was that
Something
one?
like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
on. Sorry.
Yeah. So, and so from there, like I really started analyzing like what my next moment in life was going to be. And I was 39. I was going to hit the big 4-0, right? So here we are. I was in Hawaii, and I was like I don't know. I think was esa cara de bum, I guess. Because as soon as I got there, like they thought I was loco. I was walking around, mind you, I got there. I didn't know nothing nowhere, and I got there by myself because Mr. Manny he had another meeting that he had to attend, and it was one of those emergency meetings that came up, and he's like, "You don't mind going by yourself?" Like, I apologize. I'll make it up to you. I'll get you a couple extra days. He's all, I'm like, wait, what? Me vas a dejar como chiquillo desatendido in the whole new island that I have no clue. And you're asking me if it's all right, man? It's Vale you're talking to. Of course it's all right. I'm on my way. So I was out there for enjoying myself, walking, eating local fruits and veggies, and just walking, just being like honestly like a bum out there, hopping on the free trolley and everything. And I was like, man. And then thinking about where I was going to go to back when I came home. Like, what was I, que tenía que esperar, like, when I touch land and I go back to the office, like, what was I going to do? And then when I went there, I started more openly, like I said, that bond that I had with my team, I started more openly talking to them, like, hey, what's holding you from retiring? No, pues es que es esto, es que es lo otro. And I was like, yeah. And then they're like, no, pero sí nos hablaron, y si hubiera tenido esto antes, ya ahorita ya no estuviera jalando. Ya me hubiera retirado, ya estuviera like, everybody was saying like, man, only like, shoot, like I really wish I knew about this, or I really wish somebody would have taken their time to talk to me about this. And then we ended up going off and talking to a couple other business owners, a young couple of business owners here, which shout out, they own the one and only restaurant, store, everything here in the metropolis of San Lucas, California. Shout out 198. We talked, we sat down. He's a great young man, but unfortunately, he didn't know about any sort of retirement plan. He thought that you had to put away, I don't know, $1,000 or $2,000, and people, and it's true, because I even have a buddy, in the medical field. He's a doctor, and he was told by the person helping him with his finances that if he couldn't put away $50,000 a year, I don't want to talk to you. We're not talking to you unless you can do $50,000 cash on a yearly basis for an investment. If it's not, that's the bare minimum. And they were just doing him a favor by saying 50,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I go like, well, okay, it makes sense. La raza out here, we're working in the fields, man. Like I said, it's agriculture. Like agriculture here, people started getting aguitados because at first it was 12 hours that you could work a day. Mind you, listen to this. This is how it works in ag. Listen, it used to be that you could work up to 12 hours in agriculture and not get paid double time. You would only start accruing overtime pay after the 10th hour of labor.
Wow.
And the law came into place that it brought it down to like the standard, factories or whatever, that is the 8-hour labor. So can you imagine? Some people would figure like, I'm going to be happy because I'm going to start making time and a half after 8 hours.
Yeah.
Pero nosotros, we're workhorses, man. Mexican, and a lot of the community out here, they're Mexicanos or some sort of like Hispanic Latin descent, and they're very proud of people of how hard they work, and they were basically crying, not in that we're crying in a bad way, but they're crying because they were saying, "How am I going to feed my family? Like, I'm only going to work 8 hours now. I'm going to have to go look for another job. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do that." And I was like, wow. And that's what I was saying. Like, as is, they're already thinking they can't do it with working 12 hours a day. They're already thinking they're not going to be able to do anything. And not only are they thinking it, they're living it. They're 70 years old. They're 60 something. They're 55. And they don't have anything set for retirement. Something that can put them out there, that can let them enjoy their children's children, at least, because we know that children, sorry, but unfortunately, mom and pops had to put in that time. They weren't in jail, but might as well have been, because you never seen them. They're trying to provide, do something good for you and everything, but at what cost? We were talking back again, like back to what you said, dollars for time. What else are you trading that's more valuable than $1 for your time? Family? Yeah. Missing out on games, missing out on, and I know that firsthand because I did. On my children, a whole lot of, I can pick you up, but I have to drop you right off because I have to go back again.
Yeah.
Whole lot of that. So then te digo, this is about November-ish, and then I just like, I was like, man, I'm wasting somebody's life, not mine. Like, the less people I speak to, is like I'm disservicing them. I'm not thinking about like I'm doing it. No, it's like, if I'm too shy, or if I'm not proud, or if I don't, it's them that that are suffering from it, or not benefiting, not getting the full benefit of me speaking to. It's like I said, I don't know how to explain it, honestly, man. Like, lo siento como que I might as well just punch him in the gut and tell him, like, forget you. Like,
Well,
I don't know, man.
one of my mentors, he says that your wisdom is not common knowledge, and that is something that people will pay to have the answers if it's a shortcut, if it helps their lives. And by us not getting out there, by us not letting them find us, we're kind of being selfish with our talent. Here's another thing that another mentor told me. He's like, if you think about it, we talk about, we provide fruit. Even the Bible talks about, we are the branches, and we provide fruit. But if you think about it, the fruit is not meant for the tree. The tree doesn't eat its own apples. The fruit is meant to nourish those people that it provides shade for. It's meant for others. So we have answers by not producing the fruit, by not giving, by not going out there and making fools of ourselves, going through that growing pains to produce the fruit, to provide. We are robbing people of nourishment. We're robbing people of hope. We're robbing people of a future. That's basically what I get you're trying to say. And you have an answer. You have a calling. You have a vehicle that can be used to help others. And by being distracted, by being discouraged, or just by being shy, whatever. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because in a way it's beautiful. It's something you had to overcome.
Yes.
And it just adds to your story. You know what? Because of you, I got besides myself and overcame my fear, because I know that you needed to hear what I had. It's that empowering moment. Sorry, you just got me inspired.
No, thank you. Because I thought it, like I said, I just like the way you express yourself, and it's something that I want to work on that. Like, you're very great at that, man. You're very inspirational to me in that aspect. You know what I mean? Like, te digo, ahora sí, como dicen, la mera neta, it's just, You speak beautiful, man, and it comes from the soul, and it comes from the soul, and people can
Gracias.
genuinely tell the difference when somebody's just talking to you and when
Yeah.
somebody's speaking to you. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
So
Ooh. I like that.
no, yeah. So como te digo, at that moment, I was like, all right, vamos a ver, like, well, shoot, and then I come back and I don't know what changed or flipped or something. Like I said, I was just talking to everybody, and I was like, and I was spending a lot more time just, hey, I'm gonna go home early today, like 8 hours early. I'm going home early today, like, and it was just because I was excited about trying to go somewhere and talk to somebody else and try to present what we do and how we help families to a new household, a new person, an individual, a business owner, XYZ, and it got to one point to where I just showed up to work. I still remember I just showed up to work, and my boss was talking to me, and he was cool. We weren't even having like a heated argument. No, we were talking like we are now, like you and I. And at that moment, I just said, I quit. And then he looked at me and he goes, what are you talking about? Like, like, shut your mouth, bro. I told him, no. I go, like, and I was it was, I think, like around the Christmas time. And I told him, like, I'm going to be because it's a very hard position to fill. Like, a lot of people that were in that position would only last about a year or two and they would dip because it's very demanding. It was very demanding,
Mm.
demanding on the body, demanding on the mind. And and then I go like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna give myself the best birthday present I can give myself. And then he goes, what's that? And I'm all, an opportunity to do something for my community and do something for myself, a fresh start. The opportunity for me to start developing myself as a human being. Because I think this is the next step I need to take just to go ahead and grow, learn who I need to be personally, and then give back to my community in the best way I can. Just give back to my community. Just flood my community with nothing but love. You know what I mean? Just give back the best way I can. And then he kind of looked at me. He's on, think about that. Just think it over. You know, probably thought I was yanking this chain. He goes, I go like, no, I'm being legit. And then here comes the holidays. We're off. Blah blah blah. He takes some vacation time. He comes back, and then when he comes back, by that time I gathered my team, and I sat them down, and I go like, yeah, much love and respect, and I really do feel like it became more than just a work environment for us. It
Yeah.
became a second home. As much time as we were spending together, like there was people that couldn't talk A, couldn't talk to B. And when I first got there, hey, can you let them know? No, you're the boss. You tell them. I don't talk to him. And when that was when I first started, by the time I was done, it was like them on the radio. Hey, yeah, hey, I'm gonna jump on this block and that block, and I'm gonna be doing this. Oh, okay, thank you. Like, I'm gonna jump on the next block. Then you guys finish off. Yeah, we'll finish off. Like, I had no, like I said, I towards the end, I felt like I was doing nothing too. So I was like, okay, I better do something and go somewhere. And I sat them down and I told them, you know what, you guys don't need me here at all. Like, you guys are a full team. You guys are a true team.
Mm.
I'm just here. You guys need to shine and show who you guys are. And if I'm sticking around, then people are going to think it's me, and it's you. And I think I need to do something better for myself as well, for the community. And I told them that I started, and they were like, "Oh no, yeah, that's awesome, amazing." They did awesome for me. They gave me a nice go away. The last day we went to a local restaurant, nice little go away. They all pitched in and everything, which was beautiful. But my boss, even this was vacation time, I told him, and he comes over, and then I told him, hey, I told the guys that I'm no longer here. He's all, well, what'd you do that for? Like, You're not gone. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gone. Like I don't think you understand when they say I'm gone, I'm gone. You
Siempre
see,
fui. Es
like,
más, y me ves.
like you don't see me, and then he's all like, hey, let's talk about it. Like, if it's money, let's talk about it. Let's see. And I was like, man, at that point, I had already given up. Like, why do I have to talk to you? Why does that something like that have to come about in order for you to see value in me? When out
Mhm.
here, I'm hanging out with you guys. It's a whole totally different environment. You talk to somebody like everything's positive. Um, go to a special event where I met everybody. I mean, you just feel love when you go to those, that off, not the office, that event center that we were and everything. I don't think there was one inch of anybody there not projecting just genuine care for one another, genuine love for one another. Like I said, just something that was different. It was something different to me. And I was like, man, this is the type of people I want to keep on surrounding myself with.
Yeah.
This is the type of people that I need to start, putting my family around. This is who where I want to be. This is who I want to become. And yeah, and no, ya después de ahí, well, one of the big things that I love about learning everything that we do learn and everything that we did, it's right now there's a young gentleman that was introduced to me by another agent. She took me to their home and everything. 72 years young, and had a couple of rollovers, and we were talking, and we couldn't do much. We couldn't do this and that, but just giving what we were able to do for them was awesome. But what he did for me was even better, because I've gone not just talk to him for his things. He would call me. I know it was a couple calls like, hey, yeah, I needed you. I'm not gonna lie, I was there for about 2 hours. I know it's just talking to an individual. Just he's a older gentleman that has tons of life experience, and
I bet.
like I said, I don't see speaking to somebody for if it brings value as a waste of time.
Mhm.
And then being able that now we're in this whole platform facilitates such a once again, if you can, if it just takes, it doesn't take special eyes to see it. It just how can I say this? You don't have to see it in any special kind of way or form. Just don't look at it in the way you think you need to look at it. Just look at it for what it is. Because
Mm.
that's, I think that's, like I said, when I first met, I was like, all right, where's the cameras? Where's this? You're thinking of what to look for.
Yeah.
So you're not looking at it, or you're not seeing the full picture. You're not seeing what it is. Because you're thinking about what you need to be finding or what you need to see. But when you just get rid of that mentality and just say, okay, I'm taking it for what's in front of me, then your whole mind just goes, it's been in front of you the whole time.
All right. All right. You just gave me a good quote. Sometimes you're just too focused in finding it that you miss what's actually there.
Yes, sir. And right now, the best thing out of life that has came to me, and every day I wake up right now, like I said beforehand, it was kind of like, do I have to? Right now, the best thing that is happening to me personally, and it's a personal thing, and I think, had it not been for this great opportunity, had it not been for individuals not giving up on me, because it took, like I said, I had the services. I was a client. Not only a client, I'm president. No.
It's their club.
Hey, wait. You should do that. Like, say, not only am I a client, move away, and then I'll come in and I'll be like, I'm the president.
Oh, I love it. I got a good head. It's just cold right now, so I'm covering my head. It's cold.
Yeah. No. um you know, like back to that one moment where I said the door is right here and it has to smack you. It has to
Yeah.
smack you.
Yeah.
Mom mom has, like I said, she's an entrepreneur. She's had her own business for over 40 years, and her big thing is servicing the community. She does a lot for the community. She does paperwork, a lot of paperwork. She helps fill out immigration paperwork, documentation. She does taxes. She does some small bookkeeping for some smaller owned businesses and stuff like that. And she does a lot in the community. Like, she's very well known. And it's getting close for her time to retire. I feel like she should have retired a couple years ago. All this and all that kind of starts wearing on your body and
Yeah.
and everything. And she had talked to me a couple years ago before this, and she goes, "Hey, Vale, like, when you're ready, mijo, like, if you want, I can teach you what I do and how it is that I can make a little bit of money. You could make a little bit extra money yourself. I know you're busy. I know you got," and I had those blinders on, man. I was like this, like, just, and I was like, "No, okay, thank you, mama. I'll go help you, like, during tax season. I'll help her and everything." But now, being there every day, like, I wake up and I know the person that I'm going to hang out with all day is mom. I love going to the office with her every day. I love it because she has so much knowledge, so much, just everything. And last time we were talking, because back in the day, back in the 80s, she used to do life insurance.
Mm.
And she started when it was Primerica. That's when everything was there. And she goes, "Oh, I remember Art Williams, and I remember them and actually meeting some." And I was like, "Wait, what, really?" And she goes, "Yeah, I remember." And I go, and we were just talking about this, and I go, "You know what?" Because I call her Mama Ernie, and I go, "You know what, Mama Ernie?" I go, "It feels like your knowledge, everything that you got going on, everything that you do, and what I'm going through, we're reliving the moments together." Because she's a huge support system in my life, a huge support system. Actually, I would not have anything in this world if it wasn't for her. At the moment where I'm at, the things that I do have, the knowledge, my as an adult, my, what is it called, my and my career phases or my age or anything, every single bit of knowledge, every single bit of who I am, how I carry myself, it's thanks to her. She's the one that I used to work for her when I first met her. She was my supervisor, was there for a few years, then did the mom and pop shop. Then I ended up moving out of the zone and then came back. And now that I'm doing this, it's like every day that I get there. And one of the biggest things that she, like I said, is huge inspiration to try to be. And somebody in the community like she is the amount of people that walk through those doors that feel that like their life has changed when they walk out. That just seeing that, because a lot of her stuff is right here. We're on a Zoom. She's on her little quarter, and it's a small. I mean, it's a small. Basically, it's a shed type office. It's small, but it's huge with the amount of service it provides. And every day that I'm there, every day that I wake up, every moment that I get to spend with her, just soaking up whatever it is, man. Hold on, I'm the one saying, "Hubiera," had I, had I. But yeah, no, but I think, everything in its due time. Life is gonna put you in front of. Just don't be afraid to recognize those signs. Life is gonna put you in the moment that you need to be. If you say, "Oh man, 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago wasn't right for you," maybe 2 years ago it wasn't right. Maybe if you would have done it, just don't think about the downfall. Don't think about the negative side. Just go, okay, it wasn't then, it is now, though. Don't say, "No, it's not for me." It is now. Like, be able to, I guess more than anything, be able to believe in yourself.
Yes.
Just don't self-doubt. Don't have that self-doubt. have more self-love. You know, treat yourself with that respect
Mm.
that you need to give yourself, and then just say, yeah. Um, are things hard? Maybe. Are they difficult? Maybe. Or but they're not impossible.
Yeah.
You know. It's just I don't know how to say that one tampoco. You know, it's a whole lot of things that just go here, just don't come out like that. uh, but yeah, man, that's how I got started. That's how I got into this. More than anything, every single day, like I get to run into new individuals that allow me to learn a new way of helping. You know, and
Mm.
I think that's the biggest satisfaction because do I have the answer for everything? No, but do they have everything for me? Yes. You know, I learned from every single family that I sit in front of, every single business owners, every single anybody sitting in front of them. I learned. I learned from them more than anything. I think like everything they talk, every family is different. You can say it's a cookie cutter thing, but not really. You know, they teach you. You know, we know the basics. We just got to put that jigsaw puzzle together to fit it perfectly and present it to them so they can see the picture.
Wow. Wow. No, Vale, you basically answered the questions without me asking the questions. Great story. You talked about obstacles. You talked about um, just values and big takeaways and things that have you learned that led you from where you were, and then the mindset change you had to go through. Because almost every one of my entrepreneur interviews, when I ask them what's one of the biggest things biggest obstacle, and a lot of them talked about mindset. That had to change for them to be able to accept
Yes,
the good, accept the value, to accept the new, the destiny they're going through. And so, no, just great story. You surpassed the amount of value we're trying to bring. I thank you for that.
I
So,
appreciate it.
and the beauty is that you can use this. There's content for days and for even for years that you're welcome to use over and over again.
I
But moving forward, and we're going to bring this show to a close. You were as you are and as you're titled, you are the retirement specialist. And if someone wants to know more about what that even means, if they even qualify for retirement, or if they even qualify, because you even said that, because a lot of people thought that retirement or even using some kind of funds is the rich person's game, but it's for anyone. If anyone really wants to learn more about this, or just wants to have questions on what they can do to properly protect their family, to set up their life for retirement, to even protect their kids who maybe they just had children, where could they go if they wanted to reach you and meet with you and have a chat with you?
yeah,
If
they
you want to
could.
be found.
Yeah, if I want to be found, shoot, I was gonna say Instagram's my best spot, but I don't even know my handle. Hold on.
I tagged it on the description, your Instagram.
Oh yes,
It's
sir.
Val period underscore period. I think it's your last name.
Yes, Andy
And then
something.
period and then underscore. I
Yes,
think that's it.
sir. Appreciate you.
It's on the description.
Yeah,
I
and you
usually tag the Instagram on there. And also for those of people who have been following Hey Rockstar, you do know that I have a Hey Rockstar Instagram. And the Hey Rockstar Instagram, I only follow guests that I've had on my show. Like people follow me, but I will only follow back guests from the Hey Rockstar. That way, anyone who wants to connect with my guests, they can just go and look at the people I'm following. And they can easily find my guests. So you're already on that list. Um,
thank you,
for
thank
for
you.
the Hey Rockstar Instagram. That's just a little tidbit. But no, I want to thank you for coming on today, for sharing your story, amazing story, for having such a great conversation. We are at an hour and 20 minutes, dude. That's one of the longest ones I've had, and it just felt like it just flew by like nothing. Well, I mean, for me, it did. I'm not sure how it
I
felt
was
for
afraid
you.
I wasn't gonna have enough to talk on, man.
No, you brought some good stuff, and of course, I want to. So many people jumped on the Instagram. I didn't have a chance to jump on and say hello. A shout out to Alex. We were talking about Alex earlier. Giving a shout out to him. Tamara jumped on and said, "Oh, they didn't say anything. It just showed that they jumped for a moment, give their love." And let's see, there's a few other people that, but they're not related to the group. There's so many people jumping in. I can't give highlight to everyone, but also thank you to everyone who watched on Hey Rockstar. This episode 104. Let me just go ahead and close out the show, and we can chat a little bit longer afterwards.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this was episode 104 of Hey Rockstar, with my very special guest, featuring a special guest, Valentin Resediz. Am I even saying it right?
Resediz, yeah.
Resediz, all the way from California, and just sharing his heart, his story, how he went from just a desire to help his community, work in the different odd jobs, but now learning and found out that the best way to serve other communities is to become the best version of himself. And now he can teach others how they can become the best versions of themselves financially and properly protect them. Reach out to him. Even though I'm an agent too, don't worry about me. We can partner up if we want to. But other than that, though, just reach out to him. Great story. Thank you for coming on. Any last words you want to add just before I shut this down?
No, I just appreciate you very much, Mr. Josafat. It's a great honor meeting you, knowing you, and keep up on doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is amazing, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Muy apreciado. Apreciado. So until next time, all the way from California and all the way from Andrews, America, we just want to wish you guys, until next time, much love and many blessings. We will catch you all.